Hey everybody, it's Kneecap here, and in this video I will be talking about pre-patch once again. I just put out a pre-patch video, and thinking that I wouldn't be talking about it again until reset night or the day after, whenever I got to make a video about the new stuff. However, the new stuff came out the day before reset, at least on NA realms. I read some things saying that it might not come out for a bit on EU, but at least on in the Western side, this stuff is live now. So we have new things to do regarding pre-patch. So that's what this video is going to be about, talking about the new things, what they are, what I think about them. And then there was actually a major change made as well to the original event stuff. And so I'll cover that as well. Once again, I just talked about this recently, and so I'm trying not to double up on anything that I just said, but let's go ahead first and just go talk about the new stuff first. So if you are in a area where this is live, what will happen is you can just go to your main city where the Argent Crusade type people are, and you can just get quests from them to go to Ice Crown and basically continue a new storyline or the same storyline regarding the pre-patch stuff. I believe if you kill a undead in the major city, it'll drop an item, and that item will just tell you to go to that person anyways. So that's not necessary as far as this part goes. You can just go to the person, talk to them, get the quest to go to Ice Crown. When you get there, you're basically just going to be going on a new quest line. Obviously, the old dailies are still there too. Pick them up and do them if you want to. But basically, we're going to be doing a bit more of actual storyline quest, is how I would refer to it as. We're setting up a foothold. We already did that. it's a different quest, but we're basically going to the same place where we set up the first foothold, and for some reason it says we still have to set up the foothold, but it's already a foothold. That part's confusing, but we'll just move past that. And so we're basically like spying on them. We're trying to find out where our faction leaders are, basically. So Jaina, Anduin, Thrall, and Bane and we're trying to figure out where they are. We assume that they're in Ice Crown, but it ends up being that they are not in Ice Crown. So the conclusion of that is the assumption that Sylvanas must have took them to the Lands of Death. Now, while we're doing this, we do multiple sneaking things where we're covert operatives, sneaking in, getting information, wearing disguises and whatnot. And we encounter a Kyrian, a Mossworn. Davos, I believe, is the name of this one. And so this is our first look live game into basically a Shadowlands aspect. This is directly from the Shadowlands Kyrian. Now they do look like the Valkyr, but I believe this is a Kyrian. And this is what's carrying the things out here on our end of things, on the living world side of things, and carrying out the plans of Sylvanas, I assume, and the jailer. So we thwart them. We end up killing that Kyrian as part of this quest, and then like I said, the conclusion is, well, they're not here, so they have to be in the Shadowlands, Lands of Death, I believe, is what at least Gen calls them. Gen Greyman calls them the Lands of Death, but the Shadowlands. So that's basically it. You'll unlock a few new daily quests. There's no new rewards, so you're still just working on the same rewards. So if you're not farming the rep, honestly, you can get the commendations for the rewards pretty quickly. So not that great. The major good change is this, and it's a bit funny throughout BFA. I've noticed that, and probably purely through coincidence, when I get to the point where I feel like I need to critique something, generally it changes in game very quickly afterwards. Now, I don't think that's actually because of me. What's likely is that either a bigger content creator is saying similar things as me regarding something at around the same time as me, given the proximity, or just even more likely, my line of thinking is very similar to the people that already work there, so they're noticing the things that I'm noticing and waiting like I do to be like, okay, yeah, that's a problem, and then fixing it. So that's probably what's happening. But what they did is the rare spawns in Ice Crown. So there's rare spawns that spawned every 20 minutes in Ice Crown while you're doing these dailies or just whenever. And they could drop special items, whether it's a giant bag or a mount or like toys or transmog or whatever. They can drop special items, and they spawned every 20 minutes. Now the issue with this is if you were just trying to sign on to farm a few of these just for a chance to get some cool stuff, um, it takes like a couple minutes to spawn, and then depending on how many people are there, it takes like 30 seconds to 3 or 4 minutes to kill one of these. Again, depending on how many people are there. And then you have, so what, like 14 minutes until the next one spawns. So they actually cut this down to a 10-minute respawn now. So now that's much less time of just sitting around bored, or sitting on your second monitor, or sitting on your first monitor with the WoW, minus down, and or minimized, so you can do something else. And that makes it a lot better, a lot more enjoyable. I don't think they could have really went less than 10 minutes, because people with bad computers or really low population servers, and dealing with sharding and stuff, what if there's only like 10 people there? Then it might take 5, 6, 7 minutes to kill one, and then you might not get to the next one before it spawns. If it's some silly thing like that. So I think 10 minutes, they couldn't have gone any less than that. And so I think it's a pretty good sweet spot, and a pretty good negotiation there, compromise, I guess you'd say. And I'm generally happy about that. So that it doesn't make the pre-patch great by any means, but it is an improvement. They moved it the right direction. It was a really simple thing to do for them to improve it, at least. And so I applaud them for that. That's worth mentioning and worth giving them credit for. Even if the pre-patch still is not great, and it isn't, it's worth giving them credit where credit is kind of due. So I want to make sure I do that. That's about it for this video. Hopefully the last one that'll be about pre-patch, as we have Shadowlands launching in a week, and we will have much Shadowlands content coming at that point. So as always, I do ask you to please subscribe to the channel, because that helps me out so much. And other than that, everybody have a good one.